Hey guys, it's Aman from Our Rich Journey, and I have some exciting news to share with you. This week, Christina and I bought a brand new Model Y Tesla. We paid almost $60,000 for the car. But that's actually not why I'm doing this video. The real reason why I'm doing this video is because this month, our investment portfolio also made over $256,000 in just 1 month. And I'm talking about both of these together because I think it represents something very important that we need to talk about when it comes to financial independence and our journey. You see, if you have been following us for the past 5 or 6 years, you know that Christina and I, we used to drive a $800 used minivan. We called it Champagne, and we did a video all about it. And you've always heard us talk about being frugal, being smart with your money, buying used cars. And here we are in financial independence buying a $60,000 Tesla. If you have also been following our journey, you have seen a lot of things change in our lives since we reached financial independence. You've seen us buy 3 homes in Portugal. You have seen us travel the world flying in first class. And for a lot of people that haven't really been keeping up with our journey, all of this may seem out of character. But in fact, all of this is by design. This is all a part of our rich journey. And so in this video, what I want to talk about is I want to talk about the new car that we bought, but I also want to talk about the next phase of our financial independence that you are going to be seeing a lot more of. But before I talk about our next phase, I have to go back in time and talk about where we started. You see, Christina and I started this journey of financial independence in 2011 when we got intentional about making, saving, and investing money in order to reach financial independence. We call that period the sacrifice period. It was a period in our life where we knew that if we made short-term sacrifices, we could live a lifetime of freedom. And you see, over those years, since 2011, Christina and I were very focused. We were very intentional because we knew that at a certain point, we could build up an investment portfolio that could one day fund the lifestyle that we are living today. And you see, this is something that I think is very important for people to understand when you are pursuing financial independence and you choose to retire early. When you first develop your 5-year plan, you must understand that there are really 2 phases to this journey. The first phase is the accumulation phase, the sacrifice phase that we underwent and that we shared with you guys for many, many years on our YouTube channel. And the next phase, the phase that we are in now, that is the financial independence phase. And in this phase, this is where your assets do all of the work that you don't have to do anymore because your assets are funding your lifestyle. You know, I mentioned last month we made over $256,000 in the stock market. If you're following us on Instagram, you saw me share that post, and you've also seen how we have been investing and living our lives since we retired early. But our investment portfolio is not the only asset that funds our lifestyle. We also have real estate that pays all of our bills here in Portugal. Something else that we are benefiting from in financial independence and living here in Portugal is that our cost of living is so low here in Portugal that we are able to reinvest the profits from our assets. And the profits that we don't reinvest, it allows us to live a life of abundance. And I'm talking about this because I think it's very important to recognize this when you are on your journey. You see, many of you may be at a place right now where you are just beginning. And this is the period where you should be so focused and intentional on how you are managing your money, how you are saving it, how you are making more of it, and how you are using all of that to invest so that one day you can achieve financial independence. You see, too many people begin to make more money on their journey and they start to spend it just a little too early. They don't have the patience to follow through on this plan of achieving financial independence. And many of you are going to be faced by this exact same situation. You are going to be making more money from your side hustles. You are going to be implementing things to make more money at work, and lifestyle creep is going to start to pop up while you are on the journey. The challenge is to refrain from that and keep in mind that if you allow that money to be reinvested, to grow in your portfolios, if you make that short-term sacrifice, you can live a lifetime of abundance. So with that being said, let's talk about why we decided to buy a Tesla here in Portugal. You see, our family lives on the Silver Coast of Portugal. And in the area that we live in, we have to do a lot of driving. And so every weekend you will find us on the road, either going somewhere new in Portugal or maybe even driving over to Spain. We have racked up thousands and thousands of kilometers driving throughout this beautiful country. And we have also spent thousands and thousands of dollars on fuel. And so at a certain point, Christine and I really started to think about, is this the most effective thing to do? Should we continue to be spending all of this money on fuel with no end in sight, or should we consider the electric option? And for a long time, the cost and benefit was very, very close. But recently, Tesla lowered the price of its electric vehicles, and at that point, it became an absolute no-brainer. Now, for a very long time, the Tesla price here in Portugal was extremely expensive. It's still expensive, but relative to what it was before, it is a lot cheaper thanks to that price cut. Now, just for your information, cars here in Portugal are a lot more expensive than you would think. In fact, a used car will run you about $15,000 here in Portugal. And so buying a brand new car like a Tesla, you're paying pretty much the average price of a vehicle here in Portugal when you're looking at new vehicles. But when you're looking at electric vehicles, this price cut puts the Tesla as one of the cheapest and most affordable electric vehicles here in Portugal. And so considering some of the economics of buying a Tesla, when the price cut came along, the decision became very easy. The second reason to buy an electric vehicle here are because of the government incentives to drive electric. You see, throughout Portugal, there has been a push to move to alternative energies. And by driving an electric vehicle, we are falling in line with the trend that is already taking place and which the government has been supporting with various incentives. The next reason is the driving experience. Now, if you've ever driven a Tesla, you know that it's probably one of the most coolest cars to drive.
This is so cool!
Because of the self-driving, because of the entire experience. It is so smooth, the braking, the acceleration, the performance of a Tesla is like no other car that we have ever driven. And the first time we ever experienced this is when we actually rented a Tesla when we went back to the US. And I was a little skeptical about Teslas at first, but after driving it, it's probably one of the best experiences I've ever had driving. The fourth reason is the advanced technology that the electric vehicles have over other vehicles, especially Tesla vehicles. The bells and whistles and all of these items that make the experience and the use of the car really at a whole nother level. And this is something that Christina and I, frankly, have really deprived ourselves of throughout our financial independence journey. I know that when you guys saw our video about our beloved used minivan that we paid $800 for, some of you were all for it, but a lot of you were also like, I could not drive a used car like that. Well, at the time, it was something that got the job done. It was something that allowed us to get from point A to point B, and it also allowed us to save more money so that we could be in the position that we are at today. But now that we are here, it is time for us to start to reap the benefits of our hard work. And so buying this Tesla, treating ourselves in this fashion is something that we have earned. But it also goes a bit further than that. You see, Christina and I would never pay this much for a vehicle if we didn't have the assets in place to be able to pay for this vehicle. our stock portfolio, our real estate investments, all of these things that are working in the background that are supporting our everyday life. If these things were not in place, you would not see us living the lifestyle that we are living now. So this is something that gives us peace of mind and allows us to make purchases like this, understanding that we have the assets in place to do these types of things. So I'm sure many of you guys will have questions about the Tesla, our investment portfolio, our assets. Leave those questions in the comments below. But before we go, I also want to leave you guys with a little treat. I am going to share with you the moment that we showed the brand new car to the girls so you can see the excitement that they had on their faces. And at the end of the video, please do us a huge favor. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, to give this video a thumbs up, and as usual, join the journey.